See, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here, you're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports.
My next guest has got a huge fight coming up here against Dan Ige, UFC Fight Night, January 14th. It's Damon Jackson, live from the treadmill. Damon, how are you?
Doing good, man. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, but not as good as you, man. You finally get that ranked opponent. Just how excited were you? Because it's been long overdue.
Man, I was so excited. You know, I actually hit him up. We messaged each other because I was like, hey, man, I don't want to do the whole call out thing. I don't want to talk trash. You know, I just want the fight. You know, like, if you're down to go, let's get it lined up. And he was cool. He was like, yeah, you know, you've been grinding. You've been looking real good. You definitely deserve top 15 shot. So he was like, let's see if we can get one in this year. Because we both messaged each other back and forth and, you know, just being cool because we're both kind of the same. We just don't want to talk smack. And we couldn't get it worked out for December. So they pushed us to January. And, you know, just we're both ready to go, man.
Awesome. Have you ever done that before? Like talk to an opponent and try and set up a fight like that?
You know, people don't respond to me. It's pretty funny because I've done this before because I'm just not I don't want to be that guy that, you know, gets on Twitter every couple hours and fights with the fans and fights with everybody else. And like the whole Bryce Mitchell thing, I was willing to step in on like, you know, a week notice and everybody was giving me crap. They're like, you know, talking crap at me. I'm like, listen, man, I'm trying to help him in the UFC out. Like I'm like just filling in a spot on a short notice. That was his only chance to beat me too. Because if I ever fight him, which, you know, I would love to fight him. If I ever fight him, there's no way he beats me. So, you know, that was his only chance. But now it's, you know, it's out the window.
Well, you can't listen to those fans anyways. They're not the ones putting the fights together. So that's the first mistake is you just can't listen to those people. One thing I was curious about. So I know before the management group you were with another management group. And I know Dan Ige used to work for them. Did you ever work with him on the management side of things or no?
You know, we actually did email about a few things and, you know, but it was never like on a personal level. That whole situation was not ideal for a lot of reasons. But you know, it was real briefly. But yeah, we did email back and forth. And you know, at the time I didn't know that it was him. I had no clue that was the guy. And then once he had like a big run after that, and he like went through the contender, went through and like started smashing. And I was like, oh, I actually know him now. So
yeah. Okay.
Pretty
yeah.
cool
It was just
dude,
one sort of like tidbit there that I kind of picked up on, which is interesting. We know Ige's a really durable guy, 21 fight veteran. How do you feel like you match up against him in this fight?
You know, like every fight, I'm looking for finishes. He's never been finished. So it's something like the Charles Wilson fight, the same way with him. That kid just figures out a way to like stay out of bad positions and figures out a way to execute his game plan. So Dan Ige is next level for me. I haven't faced someone like him yet. And it's an exciting challenge for sure because I'm getting to test it and I'm getting to move forward, hopefully after this fight and just keep climbing up those rankings. And, you know, he's definitely first on the list. You know, I'm excited to get the opportunity.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to it, man. Anything different for this camp, or is it just, you know, business as usual at Fortis MMA? Who you been working with?
You know, I've actually been coaching full time at the same time I'm training. So I'm having to like train in the morning, coach, train at night, and like mix it up. A little bit different schedule, but like my timing, I feel like I've done more work than normal, just with how busy I've been with wrestling season and stuff. And it's been great, man. I love the energy those kids give me. They give me a lot of energy, and it's cool to remember that when I was in 7th grade, that's when I was like, man, I want to make it to UFC. I want to be a state champ. I want to go to college, and I want to go to the UFC. And that was, you know, it's kind of what I've done so far. So it's pretty cool.
And how cool is it? Jeff Neal's on this card too, your teammate.
Yeah, man, it's always cool. You know, the vibe, he's always got a cool vibe. He's just like super chill. So me and him are a lot alike like that. We just kind of fight week. Nothing really bothers us. We're just kind of doing our thing. So definitely cool to share the fight week with him. I've never done that before. So definitely cool though.
That's great. And we see you on the treadmill now. Weight cut going well. I know we got the holidays coming up.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're going to navigate through that.
Holidays never bothered me. I haven't celebrated like a good Thanksgiving, Christmas since 7th grade because of wrestling season. So it's kind of been one of those things where it's never been an option to really pig out. So I don't really enjoy it. So the food's like questionable. I think that we need to change things up. And I like when we do like a Mexican theme, Thanksgiving. That's like my favorite. I've only done that twice, but that's like my favorite. But like the traditional Thanksgiving food doesn't tempt me at all.
And speaking of weight cuts, you a little bit disappointed you're fighting a guy who's probably not going to miss weight because you've been racking up some nice money with that, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's the man. He'll be ready to go. He's always on point with the weight. His cardio is always going to be great, and he's definitely one of the more durable fighters I've ever seen. As far as like in my division, he definitely is one of the more durable because he takes those shots. And I don't know how he didn't go down last fight with that knee. Movzar threw a jump knee and tagged him on the chin. I'm like, dang, man, it's impressive for sure.
Your corner, Coach Safe, I'm sure will be there. Who else is going to be in the cage with you?
Actually, my two cousins. So Ty and Cameron, my cousins. They've always supported me, but it's just cool to have them there because Ty actually wrestled through high school, so I've drilled a lot with him for my fights, and he's helped me out a lot just in the past. And I thought he was actually going to start fighting, and then he got smart and got a real job and very serious job. So it's nice to let them have a little break from their busy lives and let them come out and celebrate and have fun.
How's this fight playing out on January 14th?
Man, I'm coming forward. I know that kid's coming forward, and we're going to clash, man. I think it's going to be fight of the year, first fight card of the year. I think it's going to be a banger for sure because durable-wise, like, he's durable, I'm durable. It's just like I think it's going to be a tough fight, and I'm watching out for those hands. I know he's got that power in his hands, so getting the fight to the ground, getting it on the feet, it's going to be a tough fight either way around.
And by the way, this fight is in Vegas, right? I don't think they've confirmed it, but I'm assuming it is, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I did hear, like, insider news, the news, whatever, you could use this, but I did hear that before summer, they're going to go back to the whole travel for fight nights and stuff.
Yeah, no, I've heard that too. And I've actually heard San Antonio is one of the destinations as well, which is interesting. So.
I would love to have fans again. It'd be so cool.
Yeah, no, you deserve it, man, for your fight style. Okay, you have a couple more fights in your contract. I always ask you this. I'm trying to get like the update. What's the latest?
Just signed a new one.
Oh, you did? For this fight, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. So 4 fights, I'm assuming.
4. Yeah.
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Because I think
cool.
People forget that you this is your second stint in the UFC. You had just a very brief one before.
Yeah.
Is it that much more meaningful knowing how long it took you to get back and just like, you're a mainstay now. Have you been able to reflect on that?
Yeah, it's cool, man, because it's like I've been working my butt off, and it's just so nice to get the opportunity to show people that I really am skilled everywhere. And I just, I haven't had that opponent that's like pulled it out of me. And it's like when you get in the UFC, you have to pull that out every fight. And this fight's going to be a huge test, but I love it. I love the matchup. I love the fact that I'm getting this fight and I'm getting a chance to break the top 15. So it's just nice to be back here and for things to be paying off.
Yeah, it's worked out well. Do you remember our first interview? I was just remembering this the other day. You were in the sauna. It was for LFA. I remember this like ages ago.
Okay.
It must have been 6 years ago. I don't know. It might have been the Kevin Aguilar fight. It might have been a different one. I was trying to remember, it's been a bit. But kind of the reason I bring that up is that like that's how long it's been. Like you've really grinded, man, and look where you are now. You're fighting a ranked opponent. It's just kind of cool to look at.
It's so
that,
cool,
right?
cool to come back and like make my way back because it's like I've always had like that. Just I knew I was supposed to be here, kind of thing, and it's just nice to get the opportunity to come back. If you look at my first fight when I came back in, it was a short notice fight. And it's just like fighting like a dog to get that finish and to actually have it pay off. It was nice.
Did you catch UFC 282 on the weekend? And if so, what did you make of that Paddy Pimblett decision?
Don't even get me started. I'm not going to talk smack about Paddy because Paddy brings eyes to the sport that I love doing. So, finish fights. That's all I got to say. Finish the fights and you don't have to worry about anything. So, that's on him. Paddy, Paddy's Paddy. He's going to go out there next fight. People are going to forget about this fight. They're going to forget how close it was. And then he's going to come out his next fight. And the same amount of people times 10 are going to be watching him no matter what. So he's doing the right thing. The UFC's doing the right thing by pushing him because he gets so many views on everything. He's doing good. But it was a close – I don't know.
Okay. No, I was just curious. And someone else that you fought in the past was also on that card, Ilia Topuria. You mentioned Bryce Mitchell earlier. What did you make of Ilia's win over Bryce?
Hey, Ilia's good, man. He's looking great. I didn't lose to the chumps. That's cool. But with Bryce Mitchell, I think there's a lot of holes there. I think that he's kind of been babied, fed to the way where he's at in top 9 or whatever he is, 10. I think that it is what it is. When the UFC gets people that bring views, they're gonna treat them right and they're gonna do things right. And that's why I gotta fight tough fights. Is because I don't do anything on social media. So I'll keep taking these tough fights and keep winning fights and keep moving forward.
How was skating the other day? I saw on your Instagram that you took the family out for a bit of skating. How was that?
Oh yeah, it was actually super random because it's like in the 50s here in December.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So we don't really have a lot of skating rinks here, but there was one that popped up. My favorite place to eat is the Gloria's in Rockwall, and so like we'll go to Gloria's at the harbor, and now they have a ice rink out there on where the splash pad normally is, and it's so cool because it's like 50, 60 degrees, and we're out there, skating on the ice. But they have to stop it every once in a while because it starts melting too fast.
Oh, cool. Fun, interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Fun little place. Just take the girls. It's fun to watch them fall and all that stuff. It's pretty funny.
You gone to any Dallas Star games recently?
I go every time I get a chance. I go. I was just
playing well this season.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm trying to set up a fight with the goalie. Me and him, we're gonna on ice too. So trying to get it set up for after season. So it depends on how far their season goes and if I have a fight lined up. But I actually met the owner, and I met a couple of the guys just like a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, hey man, this is like a bucket list for me to fight on the ice. So it'll have to be low key. It can't be like promoted or anything, but we're gonna set it up, and I'm gonna show them some tips, and they're gonna give me some tips.
Nice.
So yeah, it'll be fun.
So the owner is, I believe, Tom Gallardi. Is that who you met?
Yeah, I met him, and then the guy that's in charge of all their extracurricular, all their stuff that they do, like for media and for promotion.
Okay,
and stuff
the PR
like that.
guy. Okay,
and all the PR stuff, and then I met the sponsorship guy, and then I met the strength and conditioning coach, and it was just cool to see everybody, at the game, and it was after the game, and we were down in the bunker and stuff, and it was just a cool experience, and definitely would love to get in there and get on the ice with one of them. It'd be cool,
Yeah, the goalie's Jake Ottinger, if I'm not mistaken, right? Is that who you met?
No.
Or is it the other? I'm trying to remember. Or is it the other goalie? I was trying to remember. They have a few.
I just went blank. But no, it wasn't Jake. And then the same guy that runs the youth program, or not the youth program, their junior league that they pull kids out of. I met the coach of that too, and he was saying how it'd be cool to have me come in and show the junior kids how to block and how to throw and stuff like that, how to parry and everything else. So okay. I think it'd be fun. It'd be fun to mix it up.
No, I agree. I think listen, I'm a Canadian. You're like talking my language right now. I love hockey. Yeah. So it's coming up here January 14th. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
Hey man, just shout out to my team, man. We're killing it this year. I thought we were going to get Jones of the Year. Fortis MMA, we're just killing it every time. So just keep an eye on us. We're coming over that card. Me and Jeff starting the year off strong, and we'll go from there.